Today, I am basically gonna be entirely building a team from scratch, because I'm gonna be starting with a team with 0 players on it. And I'm not allowed to just go out and sign any free agents to just immediately turn this into a good team. I'm not allowed to sign any free agents at all. We are only allowed to rebuild this team with draft picks, and we are gonna have to develop all the players we draft into our players of the future. So this is basically gonna be an expansion team, but we don't even get an expansion draft. But by the end of this, we are gonna see if we can turn this from a team with literally nobody on it to the best roster in the league. Which sounds crazy, but it is very possible. And I'll lay out the rules for this in a second. There are just a couple rules, but super quick. The reason we are doing this is because on the last team of no players rebuild I did, we hit the goal of 2,500 likes. So, if you want me to do another one of these, let's again see if we can get to 2,500 likes on this video. It sounds stupid, but it really does help out the channel. And like I said, it'll let me know y'all want to see another, because believe me, I really like doing these. And let me know any goofy ideas y'all have for a team of 0 players rebuild down in the comments, because if I use your suggestion, I'll give you a shout out, and it just lets me know what y'all want to see. And very last thing, be sure to subscribe if you haven't already, because all I do are Madden rebuilds. Trying to hit 100K by the end of the year. Again, massive thank you for 60K. But without further ado, let's get into this. And there are basically just 2 rules, like I said. The first and most important one being, obviously, we're only allowed to draft players, but I can also sign undrafted free agents, which is arguably a disadvantage, because 1 or even 2 drafts won't be enough to fill out this roster. The CPU would sign, unsigned free agents and sign some pretty good players to this team. So to fill out whatever positions we don't fill, we'll sign undrafted players, which won't be very good, and probably worse than whoever the CPU would sign. And then rule 2 is I'm gonna do something interesting for the final year. So in year 5 or 6, I'm gonna say we're allowed to go for a Super Bowl run if we want to, and we are allowed to sign or trade for 1 player. We'll break the rules for the final year to see if we can really get this team over the hump, so I think that'll be super fun. But that's it, those are the only rules. But this is gonna be a really weird way to start this rebuild. We are obviously gonna start this off with the draft, so let's see who's available. Okay, this is actually gonna be an even weirder start than I expected, so we are gonna start this off with a trade back. Super weird to see roster size 0, but we are gonna start this off with trading down to number 3. The Seahawks surprisingly picked at number 3 overall, but we're gonna get a 2nd, a 3rd, and a 4th from them to move down. Not a super realistic trade. I don't think a team would trade all of their top picks, even if it is for number 1, but at number 3, you know what? The quarterback I was gonna go with is Colton Ross, which, we're obviously gonna take a QB first. It'll be throwing him into a bad situation, but I do have a plan. But you know what? We can get away with trading back again, I think. We are gonna trade down to number 6 with the Steelers, and we are gonna get another 2nd and 3rd round pick. So now at number 6, we probably could trade back even more, but I don't want to risk it. We'll take Colton Ross out of Texas Tech, a strong arm QB out of Texas Tech, who ran a 4.76. That's probably about what the other Texas Tech quarterback ran. Actually, what did he run? Yeah, 4.8. I mean, is this white Patrick Mahomes, or I guess fully white Patrick Mahomes? I mean, we'll take him. Hidden dev, 96 throw power, 76 strength for a QB is crazy too. We'll take it. But now in the 2nd round, unfortunately, I don't think it's a great receiver class. I mean, it's hard to tell because I hardly have any of them scouted, but there's nobody here that blows me away other than maybe Steven Townsend. Elite speed and change of direction and acceleration, a spec catch and deep route, and he actually has good catching at a B as a deep threat, which is rare. Only 5'8", but that's not gonna matter in simulation. Technically a little bit of a reach here though, based on where he's projected to go. So actually, I'm gonna take DeAndre Friedman first, I think. Elite jumping and a 4.42 for a physical receiver. Is he good though? I don't know. You know what? We might as well take risks. Plus he's only 21, we'll take him. Normal dev, but 93 speed, 96 jumping. Ignore the 87 acceleration. But all right, let's take Townsend. Normal dev? Really? I mean, I think he's a really good good receiver, but that kinda sucks. I honestly might just keep taking receivers until we get a hidden dev. Actually, that's a lie. We need offensive linemen, and I think I'm gonna go Brian Hagens. Good strength as a pass protector is kinda rare in Madden, and he's a good run blocker, and he's a center, which they're always good. I shouldn't have said that because now he's gonna be horrible, but we'll take him. Hidden dev, cool. The tight end I wanted unfortunately got taken, but Larry Dukes, is he good? He's really weird. Good speed and elite strength, but only marginal acceleration. But he has A awareness, but he only has C to F short route. I have no idea if he's good or horrible. You know what? We need a tight end. We'll take him. If you couldn't tell, my strategy is to build up this offense for year one and just accept that our defense is going to be horrible, and then next year we'll address the defense. I'll explain my reasoning for that a little later, but I think it's a pretty good strategy. There's a 340-pound guard. Unfortunately, I don't think he's great, but he looks... I don't even know if he looks okay. He's a power guard with C pass block power. I guess he could have A run block power, but probably not. Whoa. I haven't seen a receiver like this in forever. Devin McLaughlin, 6'9". He is unbelievably slow. I guess for that size, though, what can you really expect? I don't think he's gonna be good, but I just kind of want to take him for fun because I don't know if I've ever seen a 6'9" receiver. I've seen 6'8", which is already unrealistic on, by itself. What are these receivers? 6'6", 6'5". Is this the tallest receiver class ever? All right, I think we need to take him. Very realistic player here. Devin McLaughlin out of Oklahoma. Normal dev. Whatever. But all right, last pick I'm going to show. Let's go with James Cooper, kind of ending it on a boring note with a lineman. But, I mean, he looks good, so we'll take him. Hidden dev looks really similar to the other center we took, so I don't think he's nearly as good. Probably good. We'll hope. But here's how he did in the draft. It was decent. Actually, pretty great. So Colton Ross, we already knew he was a first-round talent. He's a 77 overall, so, I guess technically a reach if he was only a mid-first-ish, but he's a quarterback, so he was the one good one, so we'll take it. Of course, 96 throw power, but good accuracy, good awareness for a rookie. Overall, just very well-rounded, other than his throw power, which is elite, so we'll take it. And then DeAndre Friedman, I mean, I wish he had a dev trait, but he's a decent player. 88 spec catch, 96 jumping, of course, 93 speed. And then Steven Townsend is a little better at a 76. Just, if either one of these had a dev trait, I would feel a lot better, but there's always next year to draft a receiver. And maybe one of them wins Rookie of the Year. I guess it'll be hard with Colton Ross also being a rookie, but we'll see. But the big one here, Brian Hagens is an 82 overall, so probably, maybe not the best player in the class, but definitely top 5. And we, of course, got him in what? The early second, so we'll definitely take that. Pick 38. 85 pass block as a rookie, 86 pass block power, 88 impact, 87 awareness, 86 lead block. We'll take it. We might even play him at left tackle, which is kinda insane, but obviously the most important offensive line position, so we'll see. We'll need to put somebody there. Then Larry Dukes is fine. Hidden dev at least. I did make every pick here. The centers, man. One tip I have. I remember people telling me to not draft centers. I don't know why. They're always good. I mean, not always, but if I'm finding a good lineman, they're usually centers. I mean, there's sometimes those like 84 overall guards, but it just feels like there are more really good centers. Because James Cooper, probably about a mid-first round talent, 76 overall in the 3rd round. Pat Taylor's even good, 73 overall. Then some of these picks were whatever. We needed a running back, so I took a couple. Neither of them are good. They both have the exact same face, which is a little bit scary when that happens, but... Oh wait, where's the 6'8" receiver? Did I skip over him? I did. He's 6'9", but only a 71 overall. He's kind of bad. I'm kind of surprised he's so bad. Just slow and a bad route runner, but he has 78 deep route, which is weird. What would you be at tight end? I mean, he's way too skinny to play tight end, but this isn't a realistic rebuild. Ooh. I mean, let's be real. If there's... You could argue this is unrealistic, but if there's a 6'9" receiver, there's a good chance they're getting moved to tight end. I don't know if the Eagles are going to move Johnny Wilson to tight end. I don't think they should, but here, I mean, why not? Let's move McLaughlin to tight end. He won't even start because Dukes has a dev trait, but let's get fun. Oh, and one last thing here. I want to check where Hagens ranks in the entire class. Okay, he is tied for first in terms of overall with Caleb Meredith and Adonis Clement at an 82, so pretty good pick there. But let me go through and sign some UDFAs real quick, and we will see how the team's looking heading into year one after a very strong draft. Again, I can already see the comments, oh, this is supposed to be a draft-only rebuild. Like I explained earlier, the CPU is gonna sign better players than these anyways, so this is a disadvantage, but I wanted to keep everyone here rookies, because, the theme is rookies every year. So, again, just fill felt the need to explain it because I explain stuff once and people don't hear it, so I'll explain it again. The CPU would sign players like Rashid Shaheed, Lad McConkey, Xavier Worthy's a free agent for some reason, Roman Wilson. Okay, hold on a second. Is it fair if I sign this player? I mean, I guess, but I don't think I've ever signed a UDFA with X Factor. I've seen like in free agency the next year, if they don't get signed, you know, you can see dev traits. You know, I've seen X Factor UDFAs that didn't get re-signed by their teams, but I don't think I've ever signed one straight out of the draft. So it's a little broken, but hey, rules are rules, I guess. But anyways, here's a look at the team heading into year one, an amazing 70 overall. But by the end of the year, this team is obviously all rookies, so we could be, I don't think we'll be quite an 80, but I think we could be around a 75 overall. We'll see though. Now, obviously we got kind of lucky with, you know, an X Factor being in free agency, or going undrafted, I should say. But there were a few other stars. Charlton regained hidden dev, I guess because I moved him to the other side, but he just has star. A couple star linebackers. I don't think we signed any star or better dev players on offense, but we obviously drafted quite a few. The thing I worry about most with this offense is, you know, the offensive line as per usual, but this run game. I've said it a million times before and I'll say it again. There are very few running backs in this game who actually do well or even play passably, especially with Madden generated like drafted running backs. They do not play well, so we're probably going to spend a lot of picks on running back until we get a good one. The other position like that is offensive line, but we're used to that at this point. Like, it's just a kind of not really set it and forget it position, but it's just so inconsistent that like you just kind of have to see what happens. But our big goal this year is of course hoping that, you know, all these players have good dev traits, but obviously trying to get offensive rookie of the year for Colton Ross, unless he already has X Factor, which probably not. I think he only has star, honestly, but we'll see. But if he doesn't, we'll definitely hope that he gets offensive rookie of the year. That's why I tried to make this offense so good around him. And you know, especially in Madden, the younger a player is, the more they develop. So with him only being 22, we'll try to make him put up good numbers here. Oh yeah, and also one last thing. I always think it's funny when rookies mentor rookies. Like, seems like it should be a thing reserved for older players, but Townsville mentored Friedman and got him star dev. I always pick dev trait whenever we get a mentor rookie scenario, so that's cool. But all right, let's finally get into this first year now that we have our team set. Let's get straight to the midseason point. And I doubt we're gonna have a win in this first year, but that's part of the challenge to eventually build this into a monster team, hopefully. But okay, at the midseason, we are only 1-6, but hey, at least we have a win. We are only a 71 overall, so that's pretty good. And our win is coming in week 7, the week before this, against the Browns, which, you know, the Browns are the Browns, but they do have a good roster, I will say that, so that's surprising. Did I just use a Chase Claypool quote? Is that what that was? The Browns is the Browns, or whatever he said. Is that who said that? Am I making that up in my head? I don't know. I didn't intentionally like quote him, but I guess I did. I think that is what he said. Either way, we obviously have a few re-signings because our team is almost entirely made up of UDFAs, because, you know, you can't fill a team with just one draft. The question is, though, who do we want to bring back? Obviously, I'm not going to show me bringing everyone back here because that would take 40 minutes, but I think for now, the strategy is just going to be bringing back the players that have dev traits. We obviously want Keegan Ware back. We'll go 4 years, 13 mil. He takes it. That's very cheap for what we think he could be. DeAndre Hannon, sure, I guess. He resigns. Zach Knox could be really good. It's easy to develop linebackers when your team's horrible because they're on the field a lot and they rack up a ton of tackles, so could win defensive rookie of the year, I guess. We'll see. So we'll definitely re-sign him. Marshawn Charlton surprisingly doesn't have his dev trait revealed yet, even though he's a full-time starter. I made sure of that, but we'll re-sign him too. Why not? Never mind. Okay, we'll see. And then Jerry Teague, our last star dev. So we got mostly everyone with a dev trait back. We'll re-sign some of the other ones at the end of the year. That's just boring, so I won't show much of it, but I would be cool if we got another win, but I hope we don't win enough to not get the #1 pick. That's the only thing. We really shouldn't even have a win. We somehow don't have the worst defense in the league, despite it being a 67 overall. Whoever said Madden was unrealistic? No way. Those people are just haters. But anyways, let's get to the end of the season, and my guess is gonna be, you know what? We did beat the Browns pretty bad, 28-14. I'm gonna say we win one more game and we finish 2-15. That's my prediction. You know what? Pause the video, leave your prediction in the I don't know why I've been telling y'all to make so many predictions, but do it. What do you think we're gonna finish this year? Let me know in the comments. But all right, let's get there. Oh, okay, we didn't finish 2-15. We finished 4-13 with a 72 overall team. I know 4-13 isn't good, but how much are we the worst overall team in the league by? Are we a full 10 lower than anyone? We're only 9 lower than the Saints and the Rams and the Raiders, but that's still 9 overall difference. And the Giants and the Commanders and the Cardinals. Why are there so many 81 overall teams? Okay, we're 9 overall worse than any team in the league, and we still somehow snuck 4 games? Why? I hate to bring this up so much, but I've had 90 overall teams, or it was like, yeah, I think it was a 90, the best roster in the league, and we also went 4-13 as the Lions. The simulation in this game is so horrible. But Colton Ross, 4,100 yards, 24 touchdowns, 12 picks, solid rookie year for, you know, the team around him. We'll get to dev traits in a second. I unfortunately already know Colton Ross's. And then rushing, Nobles, 684 yards, 2.9 per carry. That's rough. 5 touchdowns, that's cool, I guess. Tolbert had 7, interesting. But Steven Townsend, almost 1,200 yards, 9 touchdowns. He's probably going to steal Offensive Rookie of the Year, unfortunately. But, I mean, well, hopefully someone on our team does get it. If someone does, I doubt it's going to be Colton Ross, unfortunately. Amani Knox almost had 1,000 yards, too, 7 touchdowns, 840 for Larry Dukes. We had good receiving numbers. And then Brian Hagens allowed 12 sacks, despite being an 84 overall, which I guess I spoiled his. He has superstar dev. The rest of the line was fine. And then Zach Knox, honestly, not that many tackles, 112 led the team. TFL's 10 for Dotson and Mann. I guess y'all don't know who they are. They're just UDFAs I signed. And then 3.5 sacks for Henry Bird led the team, 2.5 for Lloyd Mann, and then only 1 for Marshawn Charlton in 934 snaps. That's great. And we also only had 2 picks, 1 for Zach McLeod and 1 for Keegan Ware, thankfully. So that's an interesting stat line. Patrick Mahomes obviously wins MVP, getting to beat up on this defense twice a year. Pause. But are there going to be any Chargers for anything? Okay, we do win Offensive Rookie of the Year. That's massive. Steven Townsend does take it. This is an interesting list. BJ Bolden for the Jets at number 2, but Knox at 3, Ross at 4, Dukes at 5, Friedman at 6, Nobles at 7, and then Tolbert at 10. Just a few Chargers up here. But Defensive Rookie of the Year, I doubt we're going to get it. Nah, we don't. Tavares Donaldson wins it for the Colts. Are there any chart? Yeah, there are a few down here. Bird at 7, Knox at 8, Teague at 9. Okay, fair, I guess. So not a great defense. Still probably overperformed on how it should have been, but this year we're gonna hopefully make it legitimately good. Because last year our strategy was obviously building this offense up and ignoring the defense completely, other than I picked one corner. I don't even remember who it was. But this year we're gonna go pretty much defense only. Now I still might draft a lineman or 2 or a running back if I see a really good one, but the goal is to try to have this not be a 68 overall defense anymore. So let's just get straight to the draft. Actually, no. Let's see if, I was gonna say let's see if we get any dev traits. I would hope we get some dev traits, but let's see if we get any good ones, and then we'll get to the draft. But in the Super Bowl, we have the Shane Steichen Bowl, I guess, which very underrated head coach, by the way. The Eagles beat the Colts 35-32. Could happen in the next couple years, I guess, but let's see if we got any good dev traits. So as you would hope, Townsend did get superstar. He also gets 1 upgrade. I was hoping it would be more than 1. That's also the lowest I've ever seen the XP bar be. 13 out of 6,928. Interesting. Weird to look at, but superstar dev, that's huge, obviously. No other dev traits on offense, though. I don't know who would have gotten one, to be fair. Maybe like Friedman or Knox or something. Knox was pretty good. I'm kind of surprised he didn't get one. But on defense, none. Unlucky. But in the draft, we don't even have the number 1 pick. The Vikings were somehow worse than a team that was literally just a year ago, a team with nobody on it. How does that happen? They were also 4-13. Same with the Steelers. Okay. I really would have liked the number 1 pick, but there goes a player I didn't even look at. I was only looking at defense, like I said, but obviously I still think we are going to trade down here. Let me look at Manny Walker real quick. I didn't look at him because I was so set on trading down, but he does look really good. This looks like what would be maybe the greatest corner prospect of all time in real life, but in Madden, there's honestly a guy that looks like this probably every year, so I'm not too sad if we don't get him. The one player I'm really interested in, though, Joe Brown. I focus scouted him, clearly, but look at these ratings. A, awareness zone, play rec, pursuit, hit power, tackle, B-man. He ran a 4.35 and a 4.28 at his pro day, 208 pounds. He has elite speed, speed, but only solid acceleration somehow. So he's gonna have like 95 speed and 90 acceleration, despite being maybe the fastest safety I've ever seen. But yeah, I want him, obviously. He's projected to go at 11, I guess. Or I guess he's the 10th best left, but we're at pick 2, obviously. If we don't get him, it's not the end of the world, but he does look insanely good. Like, maybe the best safety I've ever seen good. So let's trade down to maybe 9. I was planning on trading down much farther than this. I just didn't think there would be that good of a player here. Okay, we're trading down with the Lions to number 9, and we're going to be picking up a second and a first next year. A second this year and a first next year. I mean, this is the first time in the rebuild I guess we're going to have 2 first-round picks in the same year, so usually if I do stuff like this, I end up getting probably 5 first-round picks a year, just because I trade down so much, but there have been really good-looking players here. So hopefully the safety's still available. I don't see him taken yet. Pat Gold went to the Commanders. He is not here anymore. Okay. So apparently he was good. Unfortunate. Ooh, wait. Okay, I forgot. Don't know how I forgot this, but I set running back as my focus position. Taekwon Gerard is a top 5 talent. Whoa. He has 34 bench reps with 4.4 speed and a 4.34 at his pro day. Would that be too insane? Maybe. But as I'm sure most of y'all know, running back is very important in Madden. Much more than in real life, I would say. Not that it's unimportant in real life, but I would argue that running back is more important than quarterback in Madden. Because if you sign a guy like Bijan Robinson, who's arguably the best in the game in Madden, it's almost like a cheat code to make the playoffs. It's weird. At least in simulation, I mean. Do we do it? I have never come close to taking a running back in the top 10. I mean, maybe I have if we've done a goofy rebuild where I have like 30 first-round picks, but that's the only scenario I can think of. I know I said I was going to take a pass rusher, or a defensive player, which probably would be a pass rusher, but this is such a weird pick. Absolutely horrible strategy for real life, but we're going to go Taekwon Gerard here. We can make up for this pick with all our other draft picks here. We can go all defense later. Honestly, his ratings aren't crazy good, so some of these A's must be like A pluses, but I mean, he has good ratings, but we'll take him. Hidden dev, 93 speed, 95 acceleration, 88 strength. This dude's a lineman at running back. That's crazy. I mean, if you saw, I think it was the last rebuild I did. I can't remember the running back's name, but the Chargers did draft a like 4-time offensive player of the year, so hopefully we can repeat that. But now in the second round, I definitely want to take a corner here. There is Dwight Wheeler. Oh, he's only 20 years old too. This guy almost looks better than the corner that was there in the first round. The only thing is awareness and play rec aren't as good, but A-man, A-press, B-zone. 20-year-old players are really rare in Madden. At least I don't see many of them. Maybe if you use like very strong draft classes, which I don't like, they're too insane. But maybe if you use those, there'll be more 20-year-olds or something. I don't know, but in just the strong draft classes, I don't see them much. So very fast, good bench press, not the best vert, but hey, we'll still take him. Hidden dev, I kind of expected him to have normal, but I was still fine with that because he's only 20. That's basically like having a dev trait in Madden, but hey, we'll take it. This corner group could be crazy. Ooh, I was gonna maybe take David Blake, but 4.7 speeds. That's so, how is that great speed? Linebacker ratings are so weird. Like, even for an edge rusher, that isn't great speed unless you're like a big power rusher. That's especially horrible for an off-ball linebacker though. Like, I'm good, thanks. Honestly, this isn't that good of a defensive class outside of, you know, that corner I took. I don't really see anyone. I might go with Rob Hampton. He looks like a solid safety. Great speed and acceleration, good strength, good ratings overall from what I can tell. Hopefully he actually has B pursuit. If it's a C, I don't think he's great, but if it's a B, I think he is. We'll take him. He's only 21. Hidden dev. I don't know if that's a great pick, but we'll see. And you know what? I might also trade this pick. Yeah, all the defensive ends I wanted are gone. There is Bill Batten. He looks good. Only D tackle though. All right, I'm gonna do something weird. I'm gonna trade back like a million times. I'm not gonna show these picks because it's gonna take forever, but I'm gonna keep trading back and just stack up picks here. I don't know how many I can stack up because we're already in the third round, but I'll make the rest of these picks and we'll see what happens. I feel like this was a good draft, but not nearly as good as last year because we just didn't have nearly as many picks this year. Okay, here is how we did in the draft. It was interesting. Our first 2 picks were really good, but still not as good as I would have expected. I thought Gerard, you know, I'm used to seeing these crazy like 83, 84 running backs as the best in the class. I was kind of hoping that's what Gerard could be, but I mean, an 81 is close enough. He's a top 5 talent. talent. We already know that. It was still worth it for sure. I don't know if it was a fantastic pick because he is a running back, but could end up, you know, being a fantastic boost to this team. So, hey, we'll see. We kind of got our Bijan Robinson here, like really athletic, really good, but not the best vision. I guess that's kind of who this is. Or not Barkley. Saquon Barkley. I'm glad I caught myself because so many times I go and watch back my videos and I just say something completely wrong when I'm editing them. Like I called Illinois, Indiana, or the other way around in one of the college football rebuilds. I don't know. If I say something stupid, that's most of the time not what I meant to say, but I guess I'm also stupid sometimes, so hey, you never know. But Dwight Wheeler, also, I was thinking he could be like an 81 or 2, but I mean an 80's close enough. I figured he wasn't going to be like an 84 or anything just because his awareness and his play rec aren't the best, but 94 speed, 95 acceleration, 82 man, 76 zone, 76 press. He is amazing. And then Rob Hampton, he's a 75, and then Max Pinner is also 75 at linebacker. And then some of these picks definitely aren't amazing, but like I said, there weren't amazing players that were super easy to find at least. Now, Glenn Scott is a lot better than I thought he would be. He's just a really good pass blocker, but other than that, he has pretty terrible ratings, yet his pass blocking still carries him up to a 73, so we'll take it. We probably won't put him at guard at only 294 pounds, so we'll see what we want to do there. But yeah, some of these picks down here weren't great, like Max Seymour's pretty terrible. I just picked him because he had good strength, and it showed I think he had A impact block. Maybe it was only a B, I don't know. I do want to see where some of these players ranked in the class, though. Was this a bad class? It wasn't great. At least early on, there's like a 73, a 72. I mean, even a 75 at number 2. Even a 77 at number 1 is pretty bad. There were some good players in this range, though, like Joe Brown, the safety I wanted, is of course an 82. I mean, honestly, I thought he would even be like an 84. I think this was just maybe a bad class. Yeah, well, there were 5 80+ overalls, but nobody insane. Of course, Joe Brown was the best player in the class. Manny Walker was tied for second, too, but I guess so was Garrard. But we ended up with 2 top 5 talents. Wheeler is ranked number 5, so hey, I would say that's a pretty good class. And then other than that, yeah, this just wasn't great. There were good corners as per usual, but I don't see any good pass rushers. There's a good defensive tackle. Ooh, I should have looked. I remember the name Ladarius Carty. I remember looking at him. I just didn't click into him. Well, I should have. He's a 76 overall. Would have been a good pick. Didn't go until the 3rd round, so that's tough. And I think Rashad Telfer is one of the defensive ends I was wanting to take, because I do remember saying, oh, hey, all the defensive ends are gone. Unlucky. But either way, I mean, I can't really say unlucky when we had a class that, you know, has 2 top 5 players in it. Just down the board, the value was meh. But let's get into year 2, and we will see how the team is looking. Okay, we're getting pretty lucky with some of these UDFAs, though. Dexter Wheeler. Was that the name of an actual player? Am I just thinking of Dexter McCluster? Which I can't believe that name came to my mind so easily, but I couldn't remember Saquon Barkley's name. I almost just called him Bijan Robinson again. But we'll take Dexter Wheeler. But here's a look at the team heading into year 2. Already up to an 80 overall offense. I mean, this is a pretty solid offense. We don't really have any major holes anymore other than, I guess, right tackle, but Abbott was pretty solid last year. He only allowed 8 sacks, which isn't great, but for Madden, you know, I mean, Hagen's allowed 12 at an 84 overall. I know left tackle harder than right tackle, but whatever. So we'll see how the offense does, and then the defense obviously much improved. Only, I think, 5 overall better, which is kind of surprising. Feels like it got better than that, but still the big issue with this defense is mostly the front 7, at least the D-line. We really just don't have much pass rush going for us. We'll see if Batten can do anything, but he's not really much of a pass rusher. I guess he does have 74 finesse moves, though, so maybe? I don't know. It's just kind of a wait-and-see situation. But I really like the secondary. I like our linebackers a lot, our off-ball linebackers at least. So we'll see how this defense does, but I'm gonna guess we're somehow gonna do worse than last year just because that's how Madden is. But hey, even if we are, we can get worse now to get better in the future. So either way, I think it'll work out fine. But let's get to the midseason point of year 2, and we will see how this team does. Okay, never mind. We already have as many wins as I expected on the season total. We're 3-4, which I guess we're not too bad of a team anymore. To be fair, we're up to a 78, which, you know, we checked last year. We were pretty by far the worst team in the league, but I mean, as a 78, we're only 3 overall worse than the Saints and the Rams, which is crazy. The Rams are so bad here. Like, we're catching teams. I don't think we should be 3-4. I think we should be like a 1 or even 0-win team, kind of like we were last year. And I think last year we should have had no wins total, but that's Madden franchise, I guess. That's just how it works here. But we, of course, have more re-signings. I don't know if we're going to re-sign anyone yet. I guess we can re-sign Dexter Wheeler, actually. 4 years, 17 mil. Doesn't take it. Okay. I mean, that wouldn't be the end of the world, but I still want him back. None of the UDFAs we signed this year are interested. At least the ones with dev traits. Okay, he re-signs. Tarpley does, one of the corners, which he's starting for us this year, by the way. But that's all we're going to do for now. And that's really all I think we have to do at the midseason. So I kind of hope we fall off. I hope we finish bad, but we're definitely not on pace to be a playoff team either. So really the worst thing that could happen here is us finishing like 7-10, which now that I say that, that's what's going to happen, because we won't have a very good pick and, you know, we won't make the playoffs, obviously. I guess we do have whose first round pick do we have? Is it the Bears? No. Oh, it's the Lions, and they're not doing well. That's projected to be the number 6 overall pick. Interesting. Okay, we'll see. So hey, even if we do finish all right, let's hope the Lions suck. We'll root for their failure over ours. But anyways, let's get to the end of the year and we will see how we finish. Okay, we finished 6-11. Only one win worse than where I was, you know, thinking we would finish at 7-10, but that should be a better pick. Okay, Madden's weird. Hold on. I'm gonna check where our projected picks are, but 90% of the time it just completely lies to you. Checking the depth chart. I'm brain dead. Hold on. I need to check the roster. Why is the draft pick list listed in your roster? That's kind of weird. Okay, unfortunately the Lions did bounce back and make the playoffs. That sucks, but we have the projected number 7 pick, so we'll take it. Now we'll see if it's actually number 7. I guess let's find out. Hold on. We can figure that out right now. Okay, it is actually number 7. You never know. But let's check out our season stats. Colton Ross, okay. 4,100 yards, 28 touchdowns, only 5 picks. Man, if we had a good team, if we got him like superstar year 1 offensive rookie of the year, he could already be like almost a 90 overall. Unfortunately, he's still stuck with star from being on such a bad team last year. But I mean, 97 throw power, 87 deep accuracy in year 2 is crazy. He had a very good year this year, 70 completion percentage, so we'll take it. Tyquan Garrard was like bad, but he was good bad. He had 1,000 yards and 12 touchdowns. We knew he was going to struggle year 1 because for some reason, as I always say, Madden generated running backs, at least to start out their career, are very terrible. Now, if you get them to develop enough, they can start to do well, but like, oh, he only has star dev? Really? Okay, maybe that wasn't a great pick. I don't know, at least he had 1,000 yards, but 3.6 per carry. That's about what I expected, but still not good. I'm just really disappointed about the star dev. I thought he would have superstar for sure. But Steven Townsell, almost 1,300 yards, 12 touchdowns. He's been our one bright spot on offense. Not our one bright spot, but our brightest spot. DeAndre Friedman, 900 yards, only 2 touchdowns though. Knox, almost 800 yards, 760 for Dukes. Higgins was terrible again, and Abbott was really bad this year. He should be bad. Higgins shouldn't be. Like, what's the issue? I mean, I'm not surprised. Tackles are always horrible in this game, whether they're good or not. Usually the good ones are the ones who play bad, but whatever. And then Max Pinner led the team in tackles with 115. I doubt he's going to get defensive rookie of the year because he really did not put up many numbers other than tackles, but for some reason, pure tackle numbers are still a stat that people think is super valuable. So maybe he wins defensive rookie of the year. We'll see. But TFL's 14 for Batten and Dotson, and then 11 for Charlton. We had a lot of TFLs this year. Batten had a pretty good year. 14 TFLs, 3.5 sacks, which by the way, he led the team in sacks, as I kind of figured. 3 for Charlton and Taylor, and then 2 for Rudolph. Still an absolutely terrible isn't a strong enough word for this pass rush. Deplorable. I don't know if I've ever used that word. Does that mean bad or does that mean something different? Okay, yeah, pretty much. Yeah, this was a deplorable pass rush. So hopefully we can fix it this year. Who did I click? Okay, Batten, I didn't mean to do that, but interceptions, much better than last year, but still not great. 2 for Knox, Ware, and Wheeler, and then 1 for Pinner. I don't know if I've ever seen the last name Pinner in Madden. That's interesting. Usually it just repeats all of them, but MVP goes to Mahomes. I'm gonna do some not very nice things. Is he just gonna win every MVP here because we're using a division rival of the Chiefs? Probably, because that's how the game works for whatever reason. I mean, last year we could make the excuse that we were so bad that, you know, he just gets 2 free games against us, but this year we were a little better, so I don't know. There's so many Chiefs up here. But Tyquan Garrard, despite being pretty bad, still wins offensive rookie of the year. I mean, I know he had 1,000 yards and 12 touchdowns, but like the yards per carry are what's more important there. And with 17 games, I mean, 1,000 yards isn't that great if you stay fully healthy for a year. But Dexter Wheeler also up there at number 7. And defensive rookie of the year goes to Bill Batten, which is is huge. Like I said, I mean, our D-line, our front 7 in general has been our biggest issue. At least our front 4 or 5. But Max Pinner at number 2, Dwight Wheeler at number 4. We'll see what kind of dev traits we have. Deontay Rudolph also up there. Was he a UDFA? No, I think I drafted him. I don't know. But the dev traits are going to be what is super important here. Now, I don't know if we had any good ones, but we can hope. On offense, I think it was only our center that had hidden dev and Garrard, but we already know he only has star. Okay, Scott also only has star, but that's what I expected anyways. It was still a really good pick in like 5th round or wherever we got him. Yeah, 5th round. But the defense is obviously where we had all of our hidden devs. I'm really scared to look. This has been the most, scared to look I've ever been, because I just don't have a good feeling that we got any good dev traits. I don't know why, but let's just rip off the band-aid. Let's see what happens. Okay, so only one superstar. Wheeler only has star, which sucks. I mean, I kind of thought he would only have normal, to be fair, when we were picking him, so I'm glad he has star, but, I would have liked superstar there, believe it or not, but thankfully Hampton has superstar. That's good. It's hard to develop safeties. I don't normally love when safeties have dev traits, because, I don't know. There's some positions where, like, good players do bad and bad players do well. I don't know if I've ever had a safety that had a good season in Madden franchise. I mean, there are obviously exceptions, but for me, they always just are terrible in coverage. They'll have like 6 pass deflections max and then maybe a pick or 2, like best case scenario. I'm sure that's provably untrue and I'm just being dramatic, but that's what it feels like, all right? But let's get into our 3rd draft already. We'll see who we want to re-sign and see if we do get any dev ups, which I would hope, because we need them. I don't know if we're going to re-sign anyone this year. I guess maybe Wheeler, but we'll see. We do have upgrades for Offensive Rookie of the Year, I'm assuming. And, oh yeah, we got both. I forgot. So Bill Batten gets 3 upgrades, but did he get a dev trait? Oh yeah, I guess he probably did. It doesn't show Superstar up by the overall. That's what I was looking for, because I know it shows X Factor somewhere around there, but he did get Superstar, thankfully. That's cool. And then Garrard, I'm not 100% sure if he did get Superstar, because he wasn't great. Again, I'm really surprised he won Offensive Rookie of the Year. Okay, he does get an ability slot, so he does have Superstar dev. Cool, he needed it. And then I'm gonna assume that's all of them? Okay, no. Townsell got X Factor. That's huge. Now up to 97 speed, 93 deep route, 88 spec catch. That's crazy. He's just a pure deep threat. That's it. I mean, he's not bad as whatever type you want to use him as, but definitely more of a deep threat than anything else. And then on defense, any dev ups? Okay, Wheeler got Superstar. That's cool, but I think that was it. But hey, I mean, that's a big one. That's the other one we needed to have Superstar dev. So hey, we got kind of bailed out by dev increases. The 2 big players, our first 2 picks, of course, only had star, but went up to superstar. So hey, we'll take it. Hopefully this is a better draft class this year though. Okay, but here in the draft, there is 2 very interesting players here at the top of the board. The hell? Okay, Eddie Howard. He's 6'5". There are so many Washington State players in draft classes. I mean, as y'all know, I'm a Washington State fan, so I won't complain, but I don't know if Washington State has ever had this good of a prospect before. This dude looks... Ooh, wait. Okay, I should have looked deeper before I started saying anything. He looks insane for the most part. Absurd athlete. He ran a 4.32, had a 43.6 vert. What? 22 bench reps, 10-foot broad jump. Is this the freakiest athlete of all time? I feel like I end up saying that in every rebuild I do, because there's so many in Madden draft classes. But okay, let's stay with the positives. A deep route, A release, A catching. We're gonna assume A spec catch and catch in traffic, and possibly awareness, because he is a physical receiver. But C to F short route and C medium route. I was legitimately thinking about trading up for him because he looked so insane, and I still think he is insane, but the route running, other than deep, isn't great. And then the other player at the top of the board here, Jermaine Pearson, a slot corner out of Arizona, another, I guess, former Pac-12 team, ran a 4.53, has poor jumping, only a 30-inch vert, 29.9 at his pro day, 9 bench reps, and has C to F man, D play rec, D press, and F zone. This is the worst projected high draft pick I've ever seen, next to possibly an insane one. I don't know. If someone, I'm curious. I wonder if someone's going to take Pearson. There must be something. I don't know. But either way, I don't think we're going to trade up. We're not really in a position to. We still need to fix too many problems on this team. We need need every draft pick we can get. So at number 7, Timmy Campbell went 1 pick before me. That's who I was going to take. Now, it wasn't going to be a great pick. He was only a mid first round talent. Well, not necessarily mid, just he wasn't top 5 or anything. So it's not like it would have been a crazy pick, but we still don't have a usable pass rusher. Like, I thought that could be the biggest issue with this team. I was thinking we would get lucky and one would fall to us. That still really hasn't happened, though. There was also a really good defensive end who is gone. That sucks really bad. We still might take D'Angelo Jowers if he's still available later, but he's projected to go mid first, so probably won't be, but I don't want to reach on him there. If he is available later first, though, I will take him, but we'll see. This is an insane corner class, as per usual. Oh, did someone took the one at the top of the board? I mean, maybe he had like 99 awareness. Maybe he was a glitched player, because it said he had A to C awareness. I don't know. There had to be some reason he was up there. Whatever. I might trade this pick down. There's nobody here I'm really like desperate for. Like, we don't need a corner too bad anymore. Marcus Macklin looks really good at safety, but I don't think I'm going to take a safety at number 7. The positional value doesn't quite line up there, especially in Madden. Yeah, I think I might trade this down. Again, let's trade to 15, and we'll see if the pass rusher's still there. If he's... I don't even want to take him at 15, though. Let's trade this all the way down to, like, 20. I'm better picking late first anyways. But, all right, we're going to be trading 7 for 21, which this is an interdivision trade, which is always, you know, you want to avoid those. But we're going to bet on the Broncos making a bad pick here at number 7, which, knowing my luck, they'll probably draft the next Hall of Fame player. But we are stealing their first next year, and then a 3rd and a 5th, and then we're giving them a 7. Let's see what they do. Brooks Myers. That guy did look pretty good. At least it's just a tight end, and I don't think they're going to use him much. We'll see. But at number 21, I might just go with a corner here. Braxton Bridges. I feel like I've already seen a player named that in a recent draft, but A-man, B-zone, good speed, great acceleration. The only problem is he's already 23, so I don't know. Maybe I'm second guessing that. Ooh, Calvin Waters. Okay, if we're going with the corner, we'll probably go Waters. Marcus Macklin is still available too, though. Okay, let's take Waters first. Normal dev, unfortunately, but I think he's a good overall. We'll see. We have been getting pretty lucky with dev traits in general. Well, I guess not that lucky, actually. We've been a little unlucky. We've really only gotten, what, 2 superstars from draft picks? A few gained some dev traits, but just the center that we moved to tackle and then the safety, and I think that was it. So never mind. We definitely haven't been lucky, but we'll hope that can change here. Let's go with Marcus Macklin out of Stanford, only 21 years old, really good looking safe. We'll take him. Hidden dev, 93 speed, sounds good. And let's see, this might be a reach here, but I want to find a good pass rusher. I think Sims, oh no, it's Smith. I thought he got taken 1 pick before us, but Smith is the one I was thinking of. I don't know if he's good, and sometimes the players that look like this aren't good. The only concern I have with him is his play rec, and we're gonna have to move him from defensive end to outside linebacker, but we're so desperate for pass rush that I might just take like 3 of them here. There's also Trevonte Stuckey. I don't know if he looks as good. He looks more like a defensive end, but he is fast for his size, and he's really strong. I don't know, but let's go with Jalen Smith, normal dev. We'll see what his overall is. But let's see, there are a lot of 23-year-olds in this class. Bad example. How did I click him? I switched over to right end, didn't I? Oh, I guess I didn't. Dexter Allen is the player I'm thinking about, but he's already 23. Does have a block shed and a tackle, though. I don't know. It's tough. What about Raekwon Bullock? He's only 21. Ooh, 41 bench reps at the combine. Not a very good pass rusher, though. That's the problem with him. We still might take him. I'm not really loving any of the players left here. We might just switch back to an offensive draft, honestly, but we'll take Bullock. Does have hidden dev, thankfully, so he has a chance to be a really good player. 93 strength, 70 speed, which is not bad at 300 pounds, 85 acceleration. We'll take it. And I wanted maybe one more lineman, but unfortunately there just isn't really a good one. Jacob Orr could be pretty good, but I don't know if he's great. We might take him round 4 or something. We'll see. But last pick I'm gonna show, Kyrie Hodges looks not bad. A play rec, B power moves, B block shed and awareness, elite strength, 39 bench reps. Just doesn't, if he has B pursuit and tackle, he's a solid run defender. If either of them are like a C or a D, I think he's a bad player. Just straight up bad. At best, he's like okay though. That's the issue we're in here. I don't know. Should we just go with Quincy Massey because we know he's good? We don't really need another off-ball linebacker, but you know what? I'd rather take a for sure good player than I don't know if I want to say probably bad player, but we'll just take a guaranteed good player. You can't really go wrong with that. Hidden dev, 84 speed, 87 excel, 78 strength, strength. Cool. It gets a thumbs up from me, I guess. Drafting is hard, man. But okay, here's how he did in the draft. Honestly, this was much better than I expected. So Calvin Waters, I guess, wasn't as good as I expected. Honestly, he's the one player. Only a 78 with normal dev, which sucks. But, I mean, a 78 overall at pick 21, probably a top 10 talent in the class. Maybe not the best corner we could have taken. Definitely not if you take, you know, dev trait into account. But still good, obviously. But Marcus Macklin, 81 overall. Of course, hidden dev, 93 speed, 91 excel, 82 hit power, 81 pursuit, 84 zone. We'll take it. And then Jalen Smith, honestly, is better than I expected. Now, I don't know what he's going to be at outside linebacker. Probably only like a 72, but I think he'll still start even if he is only a 72. That is exactly what he is. So that makes it look not so good, but we'll imagine him as a 74, I guess. And then Raekwon Bullock is a 75. Only 66. Didn't he have B power moves? Or am I crazy? Maybe he's the one who wasn't a good pass rusher. I thought we didn't take, I don't know, whatever. 93 strength, 85 excel, of course. We already saw that. 81 block shed, though. That's really good. And then Quincy Massey, 75 overall. Probably only like a 74 at middle linebacker, but still good. Only a 73. Okay, whatever. And then I did take Jacob Orr. He's a 73, no dev trait. Nick Ham, I took him because he had good strength and a few good ratings, but he's only a 65. Honestly, with 70 power moves, 89 strength, 81 excel, 79 tackle. I'm surprised he's only a 65, but I guess some of his ratings are pretty terrible, so whatever. And then my last pick was Nate Nobles, 71 overall corner with hidden dev, so we'll take it. Horrible man coverage, but he's fine. He's good. That's good value for the 5th round. Did we get the best player in this year's class? I very much doubt it. It was probably that receiver or just like a random running back or center or guard or something. Okay, it might have been that receiver. It was. Eddie Howard is an 84 overall. And hey, his short route must not have been a D or an F. It must have been a C, and it's still a 76. Like, that isn't bad. He has 99 jumping. I mean, that makes sense. He had like a 43.5-inch vert. He is maybe the best receiver I've ever seen. I don't know if I've ever seen an 84 at receiver. I probably have, but I don't know. There's something about him. And the defensive end I wanted is, I think, the one that went number 1 overall, James Randolph. Or was it Kilroy? I think it was a power rusher, so I think it was Kilroy. The other edge rusher I wanted was Campbell, which would have been a good pick. He's a 77, but he went 1 pick before us. The tight end the Broncos got was really good. This was a very strong draft class, at least compared to last year. We still ended up with a top 5-ish talent, I guess tied for 4th in Marcus Macklin, so we'll take it. Oh, and we did take the best corner we could have. This wasn't a very good corner class compared to most. There were a couple really good ones at the top, but it kind of fell off. This was a weird draft. This was like one of the most top-heavy draft classes I've ever seen, or just like not good for the positions we needed, which is edge and D-line. And there were 2 that, or I guess 3 that went in the top 10, and we didn't have a chance at all to get them, so unlucky. But for UDFAs, there's a punter named Russ Russell, an 80 overall though. I mean, not that punter's very exciting, but we'll take an 80 overall punter, especially with that name. And some decent, or I guess a decent fullback that we can sign. I mean, we're not going to do anything with him, but ooh, Manu Gabriel. Oh, yeah, we'll pick up a superstar receiver. We're getting kind of lucky with these UDFAs. There aren't like crazy overall ones for the most part, but the dev traits we're finding are pretty good. This is just teaching me that I need to look into UDFAs more in rebuilds, like regular ones. But all right, here's a look at the team heading into year 3. Up to an 81 overall. Like, we are pretty good. Just we're really waiting for some of these already really good players to become even more good, I guess. Townsell, Garrard, especially Ross. Like, if they can get into the 90s, this team can be insane. Oh god, the lag is starting. My game's been on too long. And pretty much the same thing goes for the defense. Like, we have good players. On defense, it is more of a roster issue because we still have not been able to fix this pass rush. You know, guys like Charlton have technically developed, but he's still only an 83 or a 73. He was like a 64 to start out, so he's developed. It's just, he still sucks, just not as bad. So I don't know, maybe someone in the front 7 can surprise us. We'll see. I don't have much hope for this defense, but we will hope our offense can do well at the very least. But all right, let's get to the midseason point of year 3, and we will see how we can do. Okay, at the midseason, we are only 2-5. Usually how franchise works is you're either all right in year 1 and then better in year 2 and then bad in year 3. So this isn't necessarily surprising. Sometimes you do better in year 2 than year 1. Sometimes you do better in 1 than 2, but 3 is always terrible for some reason. I don't know why it's like that. Well, I guess I should say either year 3 or 4 is terrible. Sometimes the order's weird, but it feels like it's always solid, solid, horrible, good, or like solid, good, horrible, good, or something. I don't know. You just underperform so much in this game. It's crazy. I guess we're not underperforming here necessarily because we're not great yet, but our defense is horrible. I mean, that's what no pass rush will do. We only have 8 sacks through 7 games. Not ideal. And then for re-signings, I already re-signed Gabriel. Other than him, though, nobody else is really interested. I guess a backup tackle, but like, I guess we'll re-sign Russ Russell too, just because that's fun. And we'll have the 5th-year option for Colton Ross already coming up. He really hasn't developed that well, though. He played really well last year. We'll see how he does this year. We'll pick it up, but I don't know. I guess we're kind of stuck with him. We'll probably only have 2 more years after this year, so yeah, we're probably stuck with him, which is fine. He's done well. His overall isn't amazing, but still trying to fix that pass rush, man. That's just our big downfall right now, our big, I guess, problem. It has been this whole time, and we really still haven't found a good way out of it. So hopefully that can come in this year's draft. But let's get to the end of this year. We're like, I can't really say on the verge of being good. Like, really our only good part of this team right now is the pass game. But I mean, if we can just get this defense right, we can be really good. If we can just get this pass rush right, we could be really good. So that's the goal. Let's get to the end of the year. Let's see what happens. But here we are at the end of year number 3. Always takes me a second to remember what year we're in. Dementia or something. I don't know. But if you've been enjoying the video so far, be sure to leave a like again. And if we can get to 2,500 likes, it'll let me know y'all want to see another Team of No Players rebuild. So let me know down in the comments again, any fun ideas, any fun themes for a Team of No Players rebuild. Because I'll give you a shout out. I haven't done a shout out in a while. I've kind of just been coming up with my own stuff. But on ones like this, I definitely will use a shout out or use a suggestion. So let me know any fun ideas y'all have. Because I like doing these a lot. These are, of course, very similar to 0 overall rebuilds. And y'all know I love those. So I love these equally as much. Maybe even more, because it's kind of annoying to have to cut all the 0 overall players and create them. But anyways, enough yapping. Actually, one more thing, be sure to subscribe if you haven't already. Because if you like Madden, that's literally all I do. And if you like college football rebuilds, I didn't do one this week, but I think I'm going to do one next week on the second channel. Link to that in the description. But okay, that's enough. And in year number 3, we finished, I'm sure you could tell from all the negative morale here, but we finished 3-14 with not that bad of a roster. We're an 83 with negative morale. I think it's safe to say we would be like an 84 or 5 if we actually played well. So we're really, I mean, we are one of the worst overall teams, I guess. So I guess 4-13 isn't fair. Compared to the rest of the league, we're better this year than we ever have been. We're actually the same overall as some teams now. Last year, I know 6-11 isn't great, but we were worse, like still 3 overall worse than any team in the league then, and we did better. I don't know. That's just how simulation works for some reason. It's scripted on the season for some reason. But Colton Ross, almost 4,200 yards, 30 touchdowns, only 8 picks. Hopefully he can finally get superstar dev. We'll see. Is up to an 85 at least, but again, we just really need that superstar. And Taekwon Garrard, similar amount of yards as last year, but 4.2 per carry this year. Just didn't get as many touches. 12 touchdowns. And Steven Townsend, is he on pace to be like one of the best receivers ever? 4 yards away from 1,300, 10 touchdowns. And Manu Gabriel, I'm definitely glad I decided to, start him. I think he started as our slot receiver, which isn't great. He's a 66 overall slot, but I wanted to get him playing time somehow. So 900 yards, 5 touchdowns, Friedman. The only downside to that is, Knox didn't get a single catch. I didn't think it would be that bad for him, but that's tough. Oh, and there's our issue, the blocking. Okay. 16 sacks allowed from Jacob Orr and 13 for Brian Hagens, an 89 overall pass protector, by the way. Pass protection is supposed to be his thing. If he was, even if he was a good run blocker and a bad pass blocker, 13 sacks allowed is still ridiculous. He is an 89 overall pure pass blocker. I love this game. No issues with it at all. It's perfect. Everything is great. Oh yeah, and Jacob Orr is a pass blocker too, by the way. I mean, he isn't a great one, but he's not 16 sacks allowed bad. 16 sacks allowed would be like a 50 overall in real life. Like, that's crazy. But anyways, Quincy Massey, 118 tackles led the team, 107 for Pinner. TFLs 13 for Charlton, 11 for Massey and Batten. And then sacks, still only 4 from Batten, I guess better than last year. That led the team. 3 for Bullock and Dotson, 2.5 for Bird, only 2 for Charlton. That's rough. And then interceptions, 2 for Ware and Wheeler, 1 for Pinner and Macklin. Is our defensive playbook an issue too? Because we're not getting that many picks either. I don't know, but whoa, you'd never guess who wins MVP here. Patrick Mahomes, no way. way. That's crazy. That's unbelievable, really. I mean, he wins MVPs in franchise normally, but not this much. He'll win like 1 over 5 years, maybe 2, but he's been 3 for 3 here so far, of course. We get cucked for Offensive Rookie of the Year. Marcus Cole wins it for the Jags. This was a rough year. And we get cucked for Defensive Rookie of the Year. Massey at number 2. Also, to just pile onto the shitstorm here, we got no good dev traits. I mean, I guess Gabriel, if you want to count him, but he was undrafted, so I wouldn't count him. But Macklin, despite being one of the best players in the class, only had star. Massey had star, and I'm assuming Nobles has star. And Bullock has star. Kill me. But let's just hope that was a down year. Let's get into the offseason, and I mean, we know what we need to draft. Honestly, I might just reach on a player dramatically just to get a decent pass rusher in the building, because we still don't have one. Hey, did you guys know we need a pass rusher? I feel like I've only said it 40,000 times. Maybe I need to say it one more. I don't know. But we'll pick up the 5th year for Colton Ross. He's been really good at least. Just this game drives me a little insane at times. But did we gain any dev traits? I see we have upgrades. Are those just practice squad guys? Yeah. I doubt we got any dev traits. Maybe Ross, but no, I just checked re-signings. I think he still had star, right? Yeah, that's tough. But hey, in the draft, as I always say, sometimes it's, you know, good to be the worst team in the league. You get the number 1 pick, obviously the most valuable pick by, I wouldn't say a long shot, because like every pick is valuable in its own way, but you know, we have absolute freedom over the draft here. Now, unfortunately, still not that good of a pass rush class. I mean, it's better slightly, but there are no first round talent speed rushers this year, which is our scheme. So that's fun. I mean, we're gonna take one way or another. I mean, hell, we'll take Zimmerman if we have to, who doesn't look fantastic, but better than what we have, maybe. Actually, I don't know for sure. We'll probably end up going with Winter if we can get him. Not that he's great, but again, we're so desperate. So we're obviously gonna trade down. Just, I don't know where to trade down to. Okay, let's check this again. I guess this didn't work out last year, seeing exactly where the players were gonna go, but that's because the safety was an actual good player. Winter is the 9th best prospect, apparently. Not best, but projected to be the 9th best. We know he isn't actually that good, but he's at least good. So I guess we'll trade down to 9. If we can't get him, we'll figure something out. I know it'll be a reach. I know it's gonna look bad on paper, but y'all know the deal. Y'all know what's happening. So we're gonna trade down to 9. We're picking up a ton of picks from the Buccaneers. A 1 next year, 2 this year. Arguably not enough value based on like what teams have gotten trading down to around 9 in recent years, but we'll take it. It is what it is at this point. I maybe should have grabbed more, but whatever. But at number 9, well, that's tough. But like I said earlier, I'm gonna give myself the opportunity to cheat a little bit, just so we aren't horrible every year. So this next upcoming offseason, the last offseason, I'm gonna allow us to trade for or sign 1 player. Get to bend the rules 1 time. Just because, again, it wouldn't be fun to be horrible every year. Honestly, these pass rushers don't look too bad, though. I always say that, and then the player I pick is always terrible. I'm just not good at drafting edge rushers for some reason. They're just always deceiving. I don't know if they're great. They both have not the best speed, and we don't know what Johnny Saunders' power moves is. If it's a B, I think he's horrible. If it's an A, I think he's like a 73, which would be an upgrade, barely. Would it, though? We only need speed rushers. We could take Saunders. That wouldn't be an upgrade, though. This is going to be such a big reach. I might go with Brandon Tolowitzki, projected 2nd to 3rd round talent. Or no, he is a 2nd to 3rd round talent, not project, but he's like the best speed rusher I can find. There's also Zimmerman, but he just looks worse in pretty much every way. So there's also Jose Buckner, who's very slow. He has elite acceleration, but 4.85 speed as a speed rusher? I'm good, thanks. This is gonna be such a bad draft, but this is the last need on the team. Go with Tolowitzki. At least he has hidden dev. Okay, good. And at least he's only 21, so he can develop. This can end up being worth it, and that's obviously the goal here. We're just in such a bad position that we needed to do it. We needed to take him. Something I might actually think about for the future is, instead of just having a strong draft class for outside linebackers and defensive ends, I might switch those 2 to very strong, especially with defensive ends, because I guess there are good ones at the top of the board a lot of the time, but down the board, they're just all terrible. Every single one of them is like a 72 overall at best. So we'll see. That's something I might think about. That's probably what Tolowitzki is, probably around a 72. But should we try to make up for that pick, make it look a little better, or should we go with another pass rusher? I don't know. Ooh, speed check? Hold on, Derek Clancy. Okay, hold on, wait. A-man, A awareness, B zone, A to C play rec, not the best pursuit, which I don't care about at this point. Like, he looks insanely good. Elite speed and acceleration. I don't know if a 4.42 is elite, even for a safety, which I know safeties aren't as fast as like corners, but still, I don't know if 4.42 is elite. It's definitely good, but we don't need another safety though. We have enough DBs. How about we'll check O-line to see if there are any like generational linemen. Wait, there might be. Maybe. Elite strength for Lindsey Horton, but his finesse is really bad. And if he's gonna be like an 83 overall or something, I would expect him to have better than B pass block power if power's his type. I mean, he could be really good. Javier Connor could be really good too. I don't know. All these guards look like around 78 overalls, I would guess, which we might take. That might be worth it. Ooh, wait. Spencer Robertson. I mean, the last center we took, not the last one, but the really good one, was a pass protector type. Somehow he put up 34 bench reps and only has solid strength. Thanks, EA. Should at least be good. But he has decent run blocking too, which is always what I look for. Really good pass blockers with good strength and good run blocking, or at least okay run blocking. Also, Addison Colbert looks absurd. He ran a 4.84 and put up 37 bench reps at the combine. What? The athletes are way too good in this game, man. What is this guard class or interior class? Okay, I found the guy we're gonna take. I don't know if we're gonna take him here. We have enough picks, right? Yeah, we do. Okay, first, let's go with the guy that's projected to go first in Spencer Robertson. I think he's the worst out of this group of linemen, but just in order of taking him, if we want to get them all, we'll take him first. Hidden Dev, cool. With our second round pick, the first pick in the second round, let's go with a guard that looks so good, I don't even know how to put it into words. He ran a 4.94 at 329 pounds. I don't know how to explain how like scary fast that is. That's like a 180-pound receiver running like a 4.1 flat, like just shattering the 40-yard dash record. Like, that is crazy. And he put up 43 bench reps. Like, the athletes in this game, man, they're absurd. He's also 329 at only 6'2". Dude's a bowling ball and is that fast. We'll take him, believe me. Oh, okay, that scared me. I thought Clancy got taken. I forgot he was so far down the board. I mean, I won't even think twice, so let's take him. 93 speed, 95 acceleration. We'll take it. Is he faster than the like 4.3 speed safety we took? Probably. Wait, did I just accidentally simulate over a pick of ours? I think we had 3 seconds. Maybe we only had 2. Hopefully I didn't, but either way, it doesn't really matter. Addison Colbert is still here. No brainer. We are taking him. Faster than you can say fast, I guess. I don't know. This draft class, I mean, the last few have been kind of weak. Unless this is just deceptively good looking, I don't know. Which is possible, that happens, but this class is crazy looking. And you know what? Let's close it out with a solid pick. Spencer Aiken, 2nd to 3rd round talent. We could always add more D-line depth. I mean, might as well. If we can't directly fix our edge group, let's add the closest thing. D-line, I mean, it's still pass rush. Not that he's a good pass rusher, but close enough. We'll take him. Hidden Dev, another crazy good athlete. 73 speed at 309 pounds, sure. And you know what? Hey, let's pick another freak. Marquise Sutton, sure. All right, that's the last pick I'll show. Okay, here's how we did in the draft. A 74 is only a 2nd to 3rd round talent here, because that doesn't even look that bad. I mean, he was probably the lowest overall pick in the top 10. You know what I forgot to do? I forgot to check who picked that horrible corner a couple years ago. I want to go and do that. I want to see what he looks like. I'll look back in the recordings real quick. But yeah, I mean, a 74 wasn't even the worst picked in the top 10. There was a 74 overall tackle to the Rams and a 71 overall QB to the Lions. Why is he so turn the lights on? That's what every player looked like in Madden 21 or something. Maybe Madden 20. One of the games I was playing, every player, like, they were standing in the dark. Like, see, he doesn't look like that. They turned the lights on now. Okay, good. That was weird. Either way, though, what else can I say other than yet another very good draft? I mean, we didn't get best player in the class this year, but we pretty much got the best player that was available to us. There was a good running back, which we're not going to pick another one, obviously. And then the number 1 pick, Gordon Felder, they definitely, you know, I wouldn't say won that trade because we got no, they definitely didn't win that trade. We got a lot of players that were pretty much as good as this guy, but they didn't lose. Felder is an 83 overall defensive tackle. I mean, this legitimately is like the next Aaron Donald, maybe. I know there are always defensive tackle prospects that are hyped up like that, but this is legitimately the best shot at Aaron Donald. That dude looks insane. But Springs, 82 overall, 3rd best player in the class in the 2nd round. We'll take it. Not the best power, despite 329 and having 95 strength, so whatever, but 88 impact block, really good finesse, 86 lead block, 95 strength, of course. Just an insane guard. Probably gonna play like shit, but that's fine. Derek Clancy, 81 overall, safety. I was definitely right. He was insane. Not that it was hard to tell. I mean, he had like all A ratings. This was a really good defensive tackle class. What? Like right after I was saying, hey, maybe we need to boost the defensive line sliders, or yeah, the draft strength sliders. I mean, I guess these are defensive tackles, not defensive ends. I think D end and D tackle are two separate sliders, right? I don't know. I guess I'll see, but also a really good right tackle class for some reason, like specifically the right tackles. I don't know. Either way, another very good draft class, and even the first one that I thought would be a massive reach, it was, but there were teams that made worse picks right next to us, so we'll take it. Oh my god, even the CPU picked 370 overalls. A 70 overall tackle, which I don't think I've ever seen, literally ever, in the 5th round. Normally by like the 4th, the best tackle available is like a 66 if you're lucky. So that's cool. Good blocking tight end and a good defensive tackle. I thought this was going to be a horrible class. This was maybe the best so far. Like, the value we got is crazy. We'll take it. Okay, hold on. For undrafted players, last year we signed Russ Russell. This year, there's a superstar 84 overall punter named Nick Nicholson. What's with these repetitive names? Like, are we going to see like Will Williams next year or something? There probably is one this year. I don't know. There's also another really good punter, Nick Sheehan. I might move Nick Nicholson to kicker or something. I don't know. That's not really realistic, but if you couldn't tell, this isn't a realistic rebuild. Shocking, I know. But heading into this year, I have an interesting plan. Our defense has been horrible, obviously. You know, you can blame the extreme lack of pass rush, but either way you spin it, been bad. So I'm kind of thinking about not just changing our defensive playbook, but our defensive scheme. I don't do this very much. Normally, if I switch defensive playbooks, we stay as the same scheme, but here I'm not so sure because we have a ton of off-ball linebackers. And the interesting thing is we have a lot of D linemen, but some of them are kind of undersized. Actually, maybe we don't have them anymore. Well, we have Junior McCree. He's only 279, but he's the only one. Okay, that shouldn't really factor in anything. The positive thing is a lot of our outside linebackers are going to go up at outside, or our middle linebackers are going to go up moving to outside linebacker. Our outside linebackers are going to go up moving to defensive end, and our defensive ends are going to go up moving to defensive tackle. The only problems are we're going to have like a million defensive tackles because we already have too many. We're going to be adding like 6 more. We're going to have 12 defensive tackles, something like that. So I think that's what we're going to do, but I might even do something weird where we keep the same playbook because for whatever reason in Madden, sometimes if you change your playbook or you change your scheme, but you don't change the playbook, it plays better. Sometimes if you have the wrong schemes, like laid out as a 4-3, but playing with a 3-4 playbook, sometimes that works better than matching them. I don't know why, but we might try that here actually. So you know what? Let's do it. Let's see if that works. We'll just go base 4-3. I'll move everybody around. This is weird, but we'll try it. But I also found another really interesting, what I thought was an undrafted player. Now he already has a year of experience, which I would have said was fine if he was undrafted, but what this guy was, Sam Langford right here, he is superstar dev, but this dude, what I did is I went into free agency and I found the middle linebacker with the highest of either pass rush move, his being 77 finesse moves. That was my plan all along since like last year. I just forgot to mention it, which this would have worked so well. He was a 68 at middle linebacker, which I'm surprised he was available with superstar dev even there, but of course moving to defensive end goes up to a 75, but unfortunately he was a 7th round pick, the second to last in 2026. That sucks so bad. So you know what, I'm moving him back to middle linebacker. I'm not gonna let a team get a 75 overall defensive end for free. Y'all gotta figure it out yourselves. Have fun. That sucks though. That would have been perfect because he's a speed rusher. He had superstar dev. He was only 22. I'm pissed. That sucks. But here's a look at the team heading into year number 4. That felt like a long off season. We did a lot to this team, even though I guess it doesn't really look like it. But we are now up to an 82 overall. I guess only one better than last year, at least at the start. But we should develop a lot throughout the year. Still, even though our team is getting a little older for some of the starters, it still should develop a lot. And the big thing is just hoping that this defense can play better than it has. Like I said, we're gonna keep the 3-4 playbook, so we'll see how that goes. I guess it would be hard to be worse than it has been. Oh yeah, and let me put Tulowitzki as a starter. I already have him as a starter for the rush end spots, but just also for early downs, I guess. There we go. Can't wait for him to have star dev like every other player we've drafted. Also might start Sutton over Knox. Yeah, I might. We'll see. But we should be better than last year. Even if we aren't, it'll be nice to have a good pick. And like I said earlier, this offseason we get to add one player that goes against the rules of this rebuild. So we'll look forward to that. But let's get to the midseason point, and hopefully we're doing at least all right. I mean, if we do well enough, we could even make this the last year. We'll see. Okay, we're 3-4 at the midseason. We're in the same position we were a couple years ago. This year our defense is better, but our offense isn't great. Even our pass game is below average, 17. Ooh, and maybe our defense isn't better. For yards, it isn't, but for, I guess, sacks, it's a lot better, but we only have 4 takeaways. Like, I don't know what to do about that necessarily, but I want to do well this year. So let me check some. Colin Ross is doing okay. Garrard is doing well, but the blocking. Okay, we are going to bench Pat Taylor. Allowed 6 sacks despite being an 80 overall. That's great. That's realistic, thanks. Honestly, nobody on our line is doing very well. Taylor, Higgins, and Scott, none of them are doing great. We'll at least bench Taylor. We could bench all 3 if we want to. We'll see. But yeah, the sacks are a little better this year. Massey is leading the team in sacks with 3. Okay. Nowitzki is 3 and Bullock is 3, and then we only have 4 total picks. So we are at least gonna bench Pat Taylor. Let's throw in, I guess, the rookie, Spencer Robertson. At center, let's try Addison Colbert, another rookie. And at left tackle, I mean, Higgins should be playing so much better. I don't know if there's much of a solution there. But do we have any re-signings to make? Okay, Brian Higgins is one of them, but he's been absolutely horrible. We're in a weird position. We'll at least try to re-sign Townsell. We'll go 6 years, 131 mil. We're not really in a position where cap is going to be an issue unless we really overspend. So I'll just try to get these guys back. Dukes doesn't take it. Cooper doesn't re-sign. Taylor is ass, but I guess we'll re-sign him for depth. And then everyone else is kind of whatever. But Higgins, I mean, what other choice do we have, really? I don't want to pay someone who's terrible 30 mil a year. Like, that just doesn't make sense. Should we trade him here? You know what? He sucks anyways. Let's get full value for him as an 89 overall, only 24-year-old superstar, because that's what he is, despite how he's playing. He is in a contract year, though, but we'll trade him to the Lions. We'll get a first-round pick. Projected to be a high pick, but that'll probably change, I guess. So we'll have to figure something out at left tackle, but either way, Higgins has been, it could be a downgrade, but at least we got a first-round pick to downgrade a little bit. It could also just be better, though. I don't know. Ooh, I broke the game, I think. Robertson is somehow starting at left and right tackle. That's cool. But let's just get to the end of this year. Us trading away Higgins could kill our chances of being good this year, but also, again, he was playing terribly anyways. So we'll see if we can make the playoffs. We might have fixed the issue with our offense by benching all of our linemen. I know we benched them for lower overall players, but overall means nothing in this game. It's just about how they play for some reason. So we'll get to the end of the year and we will see what happens. Okay, we finish 8-9. Once again, unfortunately missing the playoffs. Let's go over the stats super quick, but we're gonna get into this offseason and we're gonna do whatever we can. But Ross, 4,100 yards, 31 touchdowns, only 8 picks. We'll take it. Garrard, 1,400 yards, 4.5 per carry, and 19 touchdowns. He was very, very good this year. Definitely worth the top 10 pick. But Townsell, 1,100 yards, 13 touchdowns. Friedman, almost 1,000 yards. Dukes and Gabriel both did pretty well. And then the blocking got much better at the midseason once we benched our better players for worse players, because that makes sense. Orr and Robertson both have the same face and both only allowed 5 sacks. Both played exactly 712 snaps too, and both are from Oklahoma. That's scary. But we didn't have many tackles on defense. Only 95 for Pinner led the team. TFL's 8 for Tulowitzki and Charlton, but sacks 8.5 for Tulowitzki. In how many snaps? It doesn't look like, okay, never mind. He actually did play a lot. Over 1,000 snaps. Okay. 7 for Bullock, and then interceptions, 2 for Clancy and Ware, and then 1 for 4 different players. But you would never guess who won MVP here, because the game actively works against you whenever you user a team. Also, the Patriots I've seen up here for a lot of awards. Demario Douglas wins Offensive Player of the Year. That's interesting. Garrard at number 10, but we don't really have anyone for... okay, never mind. We do win Defensive Rookie of the Year. Tulowitzki takes it. Clancy at 2, thankfully. Sutton at number 7, cool. We get number 2 for Best Receiver. Townsell at number 2, great. Mike Springs at number 4 for Best O-Lineman as a rookie. Of course, Chiefs are the top 3 players. Nicholson was the 3rd best kicker in the AFC, behind Brandon Aubrey now on the Jags and Chad Ryland. Interesting. Definitely not a top 3 3 kicker in real life, I'll say that. But let's get into the final offseason here. We'll see if we can finally make the playoffs with this team. I mean, we maybe deserve to at this point. Like, we're better than the Ravens. They probably made the playoffs. We're as good as the Jags, who also probably made the playoffs. As good as the Dolphins, Cowboys, Commanders. Better than the Browns. So I guess we don't deserve to be a playoff team, but we're close. Hopefully with a good final offseason we can get. Oh yeah, and we'll have to check out our dev traits. I already saw some of them, but we'll see if we gain any. Mostly disappointing again, but better this year. This is like the 30th Chiefs Super Bowl. What is happening here? I mean, I know they're good in real life. Actually, no, they haven't won a Super Bowl yet. They've only been in one other. It just feels like they're the only team I've seen. This is actually their first Super Bowl win so far. Weird. But for dev traits, thankfully Springs and Robertson both have Superstar. Dukes went up to Superstar. Did Springs gain it or have it? Because I thought he only had Star. Okay, no, he did already have Superstar. Never mind. So, drafted 2 Superstar linemen this year. That sounds good to me. And then on defense, Tulowitzki only had Star, but now up to Superstar for winning Defensive Rookie of the Year, of course. Now up to 86, up to 87 finesse moves with morale. My plan was to add a pass rusher, and I still probably will, but I mean, if he plays as well as he did this year, next year, then we could be really good. We'll see. And Sutton has Superstar, so I really wish I started him. I don't know why I didn't. Well, actually, I think he did end up playing a decent bit. Yeah, so he played. I made him a sub linebacker, so we'll take it. But let's get into the offseason here, and we'll have to see what we want to do. I'm still worried about the O-line. I guess if it underperforms at the midseason, I can just do exactly what I did this year, which is just bench all of our good linemen for lower overall linemen, because they always play better, and just see what happens there. Should be better. But for re-signings, this is where it's a little bit scary. We definitely want Townsell back. He's very expensive though. Well, actually he isn't, but I just don't know if he's interested. That's the thing. 6 years, 168 mil, that would be fine. Not quite 30 mil a year, just 28, but he takes it. Cool. Garrard will pick up the 5th year. I mean, it doesn't matter, but pick it up. Dukes will go very player friendly. Oh, he doesn't accept it. I mean, we even went very player friendly and some, so that's not great. James Cooper, he resigns. Big overpay, but we can't sign free agents, so we kind of need to keep these players that have already developed. I don't really want to start many rookies for the final year here. So we'll tag Larry Dukes, and then we will let everyone else go. I feel bad about Amani Knox. He was looking so promising at the beginning, then we just kind of benched him. I mean, he never really developed, so I don't know. Maybe he'll get a shot somewhere else, but let's get to the draft, and hopefully we can get some good players. And we will see who our one player we want to add is. Okay, there's some options here. Some very, very good options. The obvious one I'm immediately drawn to is Aiden Hutchinson. I mean, this would immediately solve our pass rush issues. That's hard to say. He's gonna play more like this for us or worse, but that's still a massive upgrade over what we've had. I think there's almost no chance he plays like this, like 21.5 sacks. I guess he could. I just smacked my mic super hard. That probably sounded terrible. That hurt, so that probably sounded great. But, I mean, if we can sign him, we're going to. Oh, easily. We're the only team that really is even competing for him. Every other team only has a 2-star offer, 2-level offer, whatever you want to call it. So we'll sign him, and now that should immediately fix our offense, or our defense. Our offense we'll still see. The only negative here is I set defensive end as our focus position, so I don't know what we're going to do in the draft now, but Aiden Hutchinson is way better than anyone we would get in the draft, so easy decision there. But in the final draft, we have the #1 pick. I specifically didn't scout any players up here because I just assumed we weren't going to have the #1 pick. Were the Lions really that bad? I mean, we benefit from this massively, so I think we're going to take one of these ridiculous looking corners. I mean, there are also some, or I guess a crazy looking QB. Good defensive end. I don't even know if Walter Wilbur is all that good, unless his A ratings are just ridiculous 90s or something, but you have no way of knowing. But let's see. Of course, there's a pure first-round talent edge rusher this year when we don't need one anymore, but we don't need to trade down really anymore. Let's just go with the best player we can find, and I think that is Kentrell Craig. Although, there are a couple issues. We don't know what his zone is, which we're hoping it to be, but if it isn't, he might not be that good. And he has elite speed, but only solid acceleration. He's gonna have something like 96 speed and 91 acceleration when running a 4.3 flat and a 4.27. Like, that's, I know I've explained so many times why I hate how the ratings work in this game with athleticism, but like this is why, because he's not going to be nearly as fast as 4.30 speed. As I've always explained, I know combine athleticism doesn't always exactly translate to actual like playing speed and all that kind of stuff, but what else is there to go off of? This is all we have. Why is it so inaccurate all the time? Whatever, I don't know. We'll take him. He at least has 97 speed, but he also should have like 97 acceleration. So I think he's good. We'll see how good he is. I think he's good. So we'll take it. But now at number 9, and we have pick 11? Oh, I forgot we had 3 firsts this year. So I don't know which team was the worst in the league, but apparently we had their pick. There are a ton of good safeties this year. We just don't need one anymore though, but there are a lot. Oh, whoa. Oh, I thought that said 4.30. 4.38. I mean, this guy looks good too. Matt Shed looks crazy good. Oh, we might take Matt Shed. He looks ridiculous. 4.41, 4.35 at his pro day. Great strength, elite jumping, A pursuit, and he's a hybrid, so we're gonna assume A man. Even if it's only a B, he also has B zone, A to C player ec and awareness, B tackle, A hit power. Is there anything he's bad at? Just where would he play? That's the only bad thing about him. I don't know. I'm sure we could figure something out. There's also Antonio Flynn. I mean, we're kind of past the point of needs, so you know what? Let's just take him. Matt Shed out of Oklahoma State. Lots of Oklahoma and Oklahoma State on this team. Hidden Dev, 93 speed. Cool. I feel like I'm picking the same positions. Are you the one pick? The one pick between our 2 picks. Pick 9 and pick 11. 2 unfortunate picks to have. Or it's unfortunate to have both. Even more unfortunate than that. No, I can't say that. Antonio Flynn, the one pick, gets taken. And of course to a division rival in the Broncos. This game tests me. It tests my will to live. That's dramatic. Should we go with Philip Hodge? Nah, he doesn't look that good. Who should we take now though? I mean, that was the one player I wanted here. I guess we could go with Beecham. I mean, we really don't need a pass rusher anymore. I was just gonna take that guy because he was good. Guess we'll go with Beecham, sure. Hidden Dev, cool. I could have traded that down. That would have been a better strategy, but again, we don't need any more picks at this point. We have enough. We're okay. I said it was enough before I knew we had 3 firsts, before I remembered that, so we're good. Trust me. But let's do our usual strategy of taking a million offensive linemen. Brandon Hutchinson, looks good. Hidden Dev, 94 strength. How many seconds do we have? Oh, that was our only second. Okay. If I knew that, I would have played it a little differently, but that's fine. Robbie Clayton is going to be the final pick I show for this rebuild. I think, honestly, looking at him, he doesn't look as good as he originally looked. There's also Kevin Williams, who looks maybe better, and let's take both. Clayton and Williams is actually going to be the last pick of this rebuild. Only normal dev, so disappointing way to end it, but I think he's a good player still. So let's see how we did in the final draft here. I think I'm going to take like 3 receivers with these last picks though, because why not? Okay, we did pretty well in the final draft. So Kentrell Craig, our number 1 overall pick, which I don't really take many number 1 picks, unless it's a QB or, I don't know, someone who looks ridiculous, but even then I trade down because it's worth it to get a few ridiculously good players than one who's like slightly more ridiculous. Like that one receiver a couple years ago, it was still worth it for us to trade down. But Kentrell Craig, 83 overall, I think the best corner we've seen this entire rebuild. We'll see if there's a better one this year though. I mean, it was a crazy class. But Matt Shed, also an 81 overall. So this secondary, I know it's not going to be good, but on paper it is insane, like unbeatable. So it should be good. I know it won't be. But Sharif Beecham, he's even fine, like a 75 overall. That's fine. I know he was technically a reach, but who cares? We'll add another good speed rusher because it isn't a need, but might as well add insurance, I guess. And then our last really good pick was Brandon Hutchinson, 79 overall, of course, 94 strength, 91 impact block, and 90 lead block. Very good player. Unfortunately, the centers weren't very good. I mean, I figured they weren't amazing, but I thought they would be more like 75-ish overall, but Clayton's only a 71, and I was right. Williams is better at a 73, but neither are great. They're both probably worth these picks, but still. And then these receivers I took aren't great. We took I thought Hearns was a blocking tight end. Well, he had elite strength. That's why I took him. I don't think it shows his strength. I don't remember what it was, but I mean, he still has hidden dev, so that's cool. And then I took another receiver who isn't very good, but we only had 3 on the roster, so I guess we refilled out our depth, but I'll sign some UDFAs and we will see how the team is looking heading into the 4th or 5th and final year. Yeah, I think 5th and final year. But okay, here we are heading into the final year. We unfortunately didn't find anyone crazy in the undrafted section, or just in free agents. I don't know why I called it undrafted section, but we are now up to an 86 overall, 87 offense and an 85 defense. This defense has gotten really good, obviously, you know, with the signing of Aiden Hutchinson. Hutchinson. That definitely helps just a little bit. But this has been a ton of fun. I really hope y'all have enjoyed. I definitely want to do more like this soon. Hopefully it would go a little more smoothly than this. Mostly just with one position group. I'm sure y'all know what that is at this point. But yeah, again, definitely let me know in the comments if I should do this again. Again, leave a like if you've enjoyed it so far. Still no playoffs though, which is annoying. But we do have a good roster. Y'all know the roster at this point though. I don't really need to go over it much more. I mean, you see it. It's very good. Not the best in the league like I thought we could reach, but I mean, given a couple more years, we could maybe get. However, I wanted to have this video out 20 minutes ago, so out of time, unfortunately. But we are as good or better than a lot of teams here. Not everyone, but a few teams. We are not just a few, like decent amount of teams here, because we're in 86. There are like 85s, a few 86s. I don't see any 84s anymore. So every team is around the like 85 to 90 range, but we should be competitive this year. And I'm assuming, again, because we're still a young team, we should pass up a lot of these teams by the end of the year and end up being one of the best, at least in terms of overall. Now, I'm still worried about our defense. I don't know what we're going to do about that at this point. Might just have to take the L there. It looks like it was bad in the preseason, which isn't really an indicator in real life, but in Madden, it kind of is. Like every year in the preseason, our offense has been solid and our defense has been terrible. And then the season plays out and our offense is decent and our defense is terrible. Like there is a connection. So with that, let's just get straight to the end of the year and hopefully we're good. That's all we can really do is hope. Oh yeah, and if we're not at the midseason, I'll bench some players. Whoever's underperforming. Okay, what a way to finish this out. We finish 13-4 in the final year here. We are now up to an 88 overall. I'm just glad we finally did well. Colton Ross, 4,000 yards, 30 touchdowns, only 3 picks. He hasn't had like an insane season. This is probably his closest to it because he only threw 3 interceptions. Just not like crazy touchdown numbers, but we'll still take it. He was really good. Garrard, 1,500 yards, 4.8 per carry, 11 touchdowns. That was also very worth it. I'm glad it ended up being that way because it was kind of scary at first. But Townsell, 1,100 yards, 12 touchdowns, 900, almost 1,000 for Gabriel, 7 touchdowns. I made him the number 2 just because, you know, it didn't make sense to have him in the slot. We should put Friedman in the slot because he's a little better there. Dukes did well too in the final year. And then the blocking was better. I benched Taylor for Hutchinson at the midseason. They played about the same as each other. Hutchinson, 6 sacks in 664 snaps. Taylor, 4 sacks in 464 snaps. So literally almost identical, so whatever. The interior was good at least. Oh, I was wrong. Okay. Pinner led the team with 111 tackles. TFLs, also Hutchinson was second with 81. That's crazy. TFLs, 17 for Hutchinson, 11 for Nowitzki, Bullock, and Batten. But sacks, 25.5 for Aiden Hutchinson. I thought he was gonna have like 10 just because the game usually hates me. This was his best year ever and the best pass rusher season ever, at least just in terms of pure sacks. At least it would be in real life. There's probably someone here that's gotten like 30. I don't know. We'll check maybe. But Nowitzki, even, I mean, 25.5 really makes 8 look like nothing, but 8 is still good. We'll take it. 6.5 for Massey, which is, why is he such a pass rusher? I mean, I guess he probably is an early down edge rusher as an outside linebacker, so that makes sense. Still weird though. And then Pinner led the team in picks with 2 and then 1 for 4 different players, so no interceptions, despite having a monstrous defense or a monstrous secondary and an amazing pass rush. Mahomes wins his like 40th MVP. Justin Fields at number 2, which is interesting. Colton Ross at number 9, we'll take it. I don't think I've ever seen Mahomes sweep MVP, and of course it's in the rebuild where we use the Chargers, of course. But nobody up here for Offensive Player of the Year, unfortunately. Aiden Hutchinson obviously wins Defensive Player of the Year. Offensive Rookie of the Year, I don't think we'll have anyone for either of these awards. We do have Shed at number 5 for Defensive Rookie, and Craig at number 8. What did Craig do? Did he do anything? He had 67 tackles, which who cares about that at corner, 1 TFL, no picks, and 3 pass deflections. He was terrible. But he has X Factor and is now up to an 87, but that doesn't matter if he was playing that poorly, so I don't know. Whatever. Certified EA moment if I've ever seen it. I do want to check though. Does that break the the season sack record, or did someone else beat it here? Pause. Okay, of course. Myles Garrett had 26 sacks twice, and Micah Parsons had 24 sacks one year. So I guess that was the third best season of all time in terms of sacks. Would have been first by a lot in real life, but still. But this has been a fun rebuild. We have a first of many scenario here. We will go play it cool. Y'all know me. Finally getting our first playoff game, though, in the 5th and final year. Took us long enough, but I guess better late than never, arguably. And we do get an upgrade for Bullock. I want to check our dev traits and overalls for everyone, though, because this is probably our last game. I wouldn't imagine us winning this. Unfortunately, we should, but I don't think we will. But let's see. No crazy dev traits for rookies on offense. Surprisingly, Hutchinson only has star, but Townsell has developed up to a 93, 95 with morale. He's become obviously a very good player here. But any dev traits on defense? Oh, okay, what a draft. Not only does Craig have X Factor, but Shed also has X Factor. That's insane. So, I mean, hey, if we had more time, this team would keep getting better and better and better. But without further ado, there really isn't much else for us to do here. So let's simulate this game out against the Steelers. And can we win our first playoff game of this rebuild? We do, 28-24. Okay, cool. I was honestly thinking we would lose, like I said, but thankfully we do at least win a playoff game in this rebuild. Took a while to get to this point, but at least we do finally have a good team. But we have a playoff rivals scenario here. I always go chess match. I don't know which one's better to go with. I'm sure that works in our favor, having a really young defense, but I don't know. It's probably about the same either way. We get a couple upgrades, one for Robertson, who, oh yeah, he's still our starting left tackle. I couldn't remember if we benched him, but no, he's still our starter. But the Chiefs are scary. Obviously, they have like time MVP now, probably, Patrick Mahomes, and they are a 92 overall. That's one of the highest overall teams I've ever seen, other than, you know, one we're using. We've had like a 95 or 6 or something. I don't remember what team that was with, but I think this is the highest CPU team I've ever seen. They're up there at least. Of course, when we're using the Chargers, like I said, but let's simulate this game out. We can't complain too much if we lose, but let's see what happens. We beat them. Okay. Is this our Super Bowl year? I mean, you can kind of tell sometimes when you have a shot at the Super Bowl. Normally, if you win a playoff game, you're gonna at least get to the conference championship most of the time. It's really weird how it happens, but we get a couple upgrades, Dukes and Gabriel, but we're gonna be taking on the Jets in the conference championship. We're the same overall. They have home field advantage. Honestly, their defense wasn't very good. It did put up good numbers, but yards allowed weren't great, and points per game allowed. They did have a good run D, though. Ours was almost just as good, though, but they did have a better offense, at least in terms of points per game, so hey, we'll see what happens here. Either way, okay, I don't know if that's fair. We beat the Jets 38-0. Okay. I think this is gonna be the rare time where we don't even jump in and watch the Super Bowl simulate. I wanna make sure y'all can see this before midnight, so let's get one good last look at the team. Up to an 88 overall, 89 offense, 87 defense, very good across the board. But we have a Super Bowl media day here. This game is everything. This is the last game of the rebuild. 10 staff points, we'll take it. And can we win a Super Bowl with the team that started with no players and was built through only drafting, basically a complete expansion team with only draft picks other than Aiden Hutchinson? Let's see what happens. And we do win the Super Bowl 32-31, a 1-point win. You love to see it.